This is KUGAN CASSIUS for IFL TV, proudly sponsored by Everlast. Delighted as always to be joined by Mr. Chris Eubank Jr. How are we, Christopher?
Good evening. I'm very well. Had a late night last night, but I'm feeling good.
What were you up to last night, Chris?
I was playing in a private high-stakes poker game.
Of course. Did you win?
I did. I did very well, and yeah, I'm happy.
Okay. We caught up, obviously, in Manchester. Well, pre and post Conor Brook. But yeah, just kind of things have settled down now. What did you make of Kell Brook's performance, first of all?
Credit where credit's due. The man got in there and he did his thing. You know, I wasn't expecting him to do what he did. I wasn't expecting him to be so dominant in that fight. But he showed that he still has it. He's still got it. And you know, I was impressed. You know, I'm not gonna lie. And it excited me because, you know, if he scraped by with a win or a, you know, flat performance or, you know, a split decision or something, then, you know, I'm not interested in fighting anyone. I'm not interested in fighting that. But when you dominate, you know, a world-class fighter like Amir Khan, that excites me. That makes me think, can he do that against me? That makes me think the public are going to want to see how a fight will play out between me and him. So yeah, it was a good performance.
Obviously, prior to that, the names were being mentioned there, but the war of words kind of continued on Twitter. I think Kell Brook sent you a tweet saying £155, otherwise don't mention my name. Yeah.
And I replied that he, you know, obviously he fought GGG at 160 years ago when it would have been harder for him to make that weight. Now he would make that weight easy. You know, I guarantee he walks around heavier than I walk around. I walk around, you know, 165, 166. He's probably walking around 172, 175, I reckon. He really boils down to get to those weights. So he would make 160 easy. I've never been at 155 ever in my entire career. So why would I go down to that weight? It makes much more sense to fight at a weight that we've both been at. And, you know, let's get it right. I'm the only credible fight that he has. I'm the only fight that the people really want to see him in the ring with. Whereas I have a laundry list of guys, huge fights that can be made over the next 12 months. So he can't be coming out with all these crazy demands. You know, if he wants it, if he wants that payday, if he wants that big fight if he wants that big stadium fight, then be realistic and let's do it at 160.
Obviously, there is another fighter that was present the other night that is in Kell Brook's weight category already, in Conor Benn.
Yeah, that fight, it just doesn't make sense for right now, and that's why Kell isn't talking about Conor. For anyone who might not understand why I say that, this will help you understand why. If he was to fight me next and lose, he can then go on and fight Conor Benn, and it will still be an interesting fight that the public will want to see, right?
Okay.
If he goes and fights Conor Benn and loses, there's no way in hell he's getting in the ring and fighting me after that. That fight is done. So that explains why the fight against me would happen would happen before Conor Benn.
Well, obviously there are people that are suggesting that Kell Brook shouldn't even fight on after the other night and should retire now. So I should imagine if Kell Brook was to lose to yourself or Conor, I think that would probably be the end for Kell, I should imagine anyway.
Listen, you know, no one can say except the fighter himself. You know, you got people saying, "Oh, he should retire on a high," and you know, he shouldn't get back in the ring. Who the hell are these people to tell a man who has been busting his ass for his entire life that he should pack it in after a victory like that? You know, idiots, people that have just no idea what it takes to get to the levels that we're at. You know, you sacrifice, you take your beatings, you take your wins, you know, you're away from your family, you go through all this stuff to get yourself into a position where you can make 2 million, 3 million, 4 million pounds in one fight, and you got people saying he should pack it in. Unbelievable. Sickening. Yeah. It's we're prize fighters. We fight for the prizes, and he's put himself in a position now where he can fight for a big prize. Why wouldn't he? And he thinks he can beat me. He's confident. And his confidence isn't, you know, it's not out of place after a performance like that against Amir. I said it before. I said it to you. It's a 50-50 fight. That's what I thought it was. I genuinely thought it was a 50-50 fight, and he showed that he was leagues above him. Too strong, too accurate. Yeah, he beat him up. So now let's see if he can bring that same energy to a fight with me.
Chris, did you run into Conor Benn in Manchester? Did you see him? Because he was obviously there.
I did not see him, no. The last time I saw Conor was at it was at a hotel. You may have even been there. I think you were there. It was after my fight with Marcus Morrison. And he nearly ended up getting in a fight with my little brother, actually. And I had to...
At the Crown Plaza?
Yeah. And I pretty much had to step in. I think my brother bumped into him and said something. He said something to him, to Conor, like, you know, keep doing your thing, man, or something like that. Something just... But he was being genuine. And I think Conor thought he was trying to take the piss out of him. So he said something like, "Are you slow?" or something. He said something stupid to my little brother. And my brother was like, just confused. So he walked off and he came back to me and he said, "Conor just said this to me. I'm just letting you know I'm going to go over there and I'm going to have it out with him right now. So just so you know." Because he just dissed me in front of people. I was like, "What are you talking about?" So I had to calm my little brother down because, you know, my brother's he's a scrappy kid, you know, he can fight. And he's a big boy as well. So I said, "No, listen, obviously he's thought you were trying to say something to him, which you obviously weren't. And so he's reacted and said that to you. So we need to straighten things out." And he, you know, and my brother was adamant. He's like, no, I'm not having it. I'm going over there. I'm having it out of him right now. So I had to calm him down. I ended up getting Derek involved because I know Derek's mates with him. I said, "Listen, go over to Conor, bring him over here. We need to sort this out." So Conor came over and I've said, "Listen, I don't know whatever you thought my little brother said to you, you got the wrong end of the stick. You know, he's not trying to start anything with you. He's not that type of kid, and you were disrespectful to him." And he said, "Oh, listen, I'm sorry. I'm not that type of guy. You know, I thought he was trying it." Basically, we smoothed everything out. But you know, I'm glad we did because yeah, my little brother Joseph is he can go off. But that was the last time I saw him, and you know, and now we're in a position where people are talking about me and him fighting, and it's, you know.
Is it realistic, Chris?
You know, I if you'd said this like a year or two ago, I would have said you're nuts. But last year, Logan Paul fought Floyd Mayweather. Floyd Mayweather fought a YouTuber. So it's not crazy, is it? It's just not. Like anything goes now. If people want to see it, it's going to happen. Roy Jones fought Mike Tyson. If you told me that a few years ago, I would have
They're
laughed.
exhibitions you're referring to.
What's that?
These are exhibitions you're referring to, aren't they?
Listen, they're fights. Someone could have got knocked out. Holyfield got battered the other day. It was horrible to watch. These things happen. They're real. They're real punches. So it's not a crazy thing to think anymore. And if he can get up to a weight where it makes sense, then I'm all for it. To be honest, I'm all for it. I don't see it happening in the immediate future, but at some point, I think it could happen.
Eddie Hearn said today, Chris, that Conor's got his fight coming up in April. Then after that, he will actively try and make the fight between Kell Brook and Conor Benn after Conor's next fight in April.
Yeah, well, Kells is riding high right now. He's not going to be waiting around for Conor Benn. You know, Conor Benn is not big enough for him to be putting things in the back burner. Kel's got a lot of options right now. So, and I'm ready. You know, I'll be ready in April in the summertime. And you know, and the thing about a fighter is, you know, when you come off a win, you know, you're feeling good. You've had a good training camp, and you can keep that rolling onto the next fight. Whereas if you leave it until another 6 months, another 7-8 months, you lose that momentum. He knows that. He's going to want to he's going to want to stay where he's at, you know. He's not going to want to dip and then have to come all the way back up. So, yeah, you know, I'll get in the ring with him in the summer, teach him a lesson, and then Conor can have the leftovers in the winter.
Okay, Chris, appreciate your time. Thank you very much to IFL TV, as always, and we'll catch up again soon.
All right, KUGAN. See you in a bit.
Thank you very much, mate.